Hello everyone, welcome to my first YouTube channel video. It's Connect with Eleanor. Welcome. On episode 1 today, we're gonna be talking about energy vampires. Now, before I get right into the topic, you guys should encourage me. This is my first YouTube channel video. Encourage me by liking, by sharing, by subscribing. I know you love me and I know you will have done that, so I really appreciate every single one of you. Now let's get right into the topic. Now, when we talk about energy vampires, many of you that are very intelligent like me will want to think of a scenario of Vampire Diaries and all these vampire movies where there's always a vampire trying to suck people's blood. Well, you are right. This topic is mainly talking about energy vampires. They are people who intentionally or unintentionally drain a person's emotional energy. I mean, those kind of people are the people you have conversations with, and when you leave such conversations, you realize that you've been drained of your energy. You don't even want to associate or talk to any other person throughout that day. Now, this topic is mainly important because we are at the beginning of the year, and the truth of the matter is that we need to reserve our energy for the right purpose, for our goals, for our visions, for our resolutions. So which is why we need to pay attention to the people we are around, to the people we associate with. Now, these people, they usually take advantage of your willingness to listen to them, to care for them, but at the end of the conversation, they leave you exhausted. They rant and say so many things without even taking responsibility for their actions. Now, the truth of the matter is that one way or the other, we've all been energy vampires in our lives to other people. I won't lie to you, I've also been one to my friends and my loved ones at one point or the other in my life. But I believe that we are all growing and we are all improving on ourselves every day. So now, if you want to identify this set of people, I'm going to give you tips on how to identify those set of people, and if you are that set of person, to how to know if you are one and how to work towards making yourself a better person. Now, how to identify these people? Number one, people who are energy vampires, they don't take responsibility for their actions. They always blame other people. You know, when you're having conversations with them, they will say, he did this, he did that, she did this, she did that, and I didn't really do anything. Really? By the time we hear that person's side of the story, you know that you are you are the one that even initiated the fight and did everything. This kind of people, they don't take responsibility for their actions. That's number one thing, how to identify those kind of people. Then those kind of people, when you're having conversations with them, they diminish your own problems and make it seem as if their own problem is the most important one. Let's say you're having conversation with someone that is close to you, and the person is like, you're trying to tell the person that, okay, this is what happened to me, this is how my day went and all this and this was what happened. The person will just say, wait to hear what happened to me. My own, there's a way they will exaggerate their problems, and you'll be like, even you that want to share your problem, you just be like, let me just hear this person out. So, and by the time you hear the person out and okay, this, and you're even trying to tell the person that, okay, so what next? The person just keeps pushing the blame to the other person. Those kind of people, they do not take your advice. You can spend 5 hours having conversations with these people. They are pouring their heart and you're like, okay. And when it's time for you to talk and for you to say, okay, I want to give you advice on this thing, these people, they do not take advice at all. They just push the blame to other people. They are not ready to take advice. They are not ready to even implement your advice, talk less of even listen. You just prefer to just pour all the energy, all the negative energy on you, and that's all. So now when you notice that you are that kind of person, or you have that kind of person around you, now I'm not saying that you should now say, no, I'm not associating with you again, or you decide not to associate with the person. No, there's some people that they are destiny helpers and yet they have all these kind of issues. So now if you want to deal with this kind of people, or you are that kind of person, let's first talk about the fact that if you want to deal with this kind of people, first that you establish boundaries. Boundaries are very important. Know when to say yes and know when to say no. Know know the limit of how much you can associate with the person, how much you can talk with the person, and limit it. If you know that you've gone through a stressful day and you are exhausted, take a rest instead of feeling obligated just because you love the person, you care about the person, and then have this conversation. Let them know that when you say yes, your yes means yes, and when you say no, your no means no. Setting appropriate boundaries. Then another thing that can actually help you deal with this kind of people is for you to adjust your expectation. What it means is that just know that this kind of people, no matter how much you try to advise them, they will not take your advice. So don't even bother yourself giving them advice. Just say, okay, thank you, finish. Then don't fall into the trap of trying to put your emotional load or having a form of emotional release for them. Probably telling them that, okay, this was what happened the other day. Once you start telling them about your day or how your day went or the problems and the issues you encounter, immediately you've opened a channel for them to start draining your energy. So when you're talking about your day, you go short and sharp. You don't give them details. Just said, okay, this was what happened, this was what happened, and you end the story like that. Don't try to bring in more details that will make them to take advantage of you again. Also, you should guard your emotional capacity. It is very important. No long talks. No, okay, this was what happened when he did this, he did that. The more you keep saying stories, the more these people are not willing to listen. They are just waiting for you to finish your story so they can dump their stories on you and tell you what happened without even taking responsibility. Because even if you tell these people that, okay, so what do you want me to do about all these stories you've told me, then they will eventually tell you that this person, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. So those kind of people, they do not take responsibility. If you are now that kind of person, because we've all been that kind of person one way or the other in our lives. Now, the first thing you do is that you guard your heart. It is very important. Guarding your heart is very, very, very important. You guard the things that enter your heart. And when you have issues, let's say you have issues with someone, take a time to reflect. Okay, was I the one that caused this? How did I contribute to this person reacting this way? Take responsibility for your actions. If you need to apologize, apologize. If you feel like you need to talk to the person face to face, talk to the person face to face. Always try to find solutions to your problems. Don't just go and meet people. If you are going to meet someone for advice, then be ready to listen to the person. To at least take 50% of the person's advice, if not all, then implement it. Don't just be going to meet people and telling them you have issues and you are not ready to take responsibility for your actions. You understand? You can't just keep going to meet people, draining them of their energy and not giving anything in return. And another thing I would like to say is that if you notice you're an energy vampire, try as much as possible to focus less on yourself. When you meet a friend or you talk to a friend at the end of the day, try as much as possible to listen to your friend's side of the story. Okay, my dear, how was your day? Even if you have that urge to quickly release what is going on with you, I would like you to just take a pause and listen to the other person's perspective. Then when you listen to that person, you'll be able to reflect back. Then find a way to help such a person. So by helping others, you are also helping yourself. Then when the person now asks you, okay, my dear, how was yours? Then you tell the person that, okay, this was what happened, but I'm thinking that I was the one that did wrong in this aspect, and I need to adjust it. So relationship should be both giving, receiving feedback. Is you give to someone, the person gives to you back. A relationship is not one-sided. So once you are able to get that perspective, I believe it's going to help you in the process of healing. So you won't keep draining people's energy and expecting draining people's energy. Maybe you gain energy. In fact, you even lose more energy if you are not careful. So, and if you have those kind of people around you, I'm not saying you should cut them off. Don't cut them off, but try as much as possible to follow these tips that I gave you. Boundaries. Adjust your expectation, guard your emotional capacity. Those 3 tips are very, 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 very important when you are dealing with energy vampires. Thank you so much for listening to the first episode of Connect with Eleanor. I hope to hear from you from the comment sections. You can give your comments, your opinions, and if you want to share your story, or if the issue is more complicated than we think, you can actually contact me on my Telegram page privately, so that we can have more conversations, and how you can deal with these people with wisdom. I want to say a big thank you to every single one of you that liked, that shared, and that subscribed to my video. I love you all, and I'm excited to have you guys on this show. I hope to hear from you. I hope to hear your comments, your opinions on this topic. Thank you very much. Watch out for the second episode of Connect with Eleanor. See you soon. Bye.